देव। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेव। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
Bisa ini tak bandek. Sipa. Bisa. Jawapan ha? Halo. Ha jawapan.
Hare Krishna. So we are discussing the fourth canto, chapter 4. Last week we were discussing the verse number 12. Let me share the screen. We will again recite the shloka. Doshan paresham hi guneshu sadhavo
दोषा
गुणेषु साधु
krishnanti kechinna bhavadrusho dvija
गृह्णन्ति केचिन्न भवादृशो द्विज
gunam cha phalgun बहुलीकरिष्णवो
गुणांश्च फल्गुन् बहुलीश्च विष्णवो
मकत्
बहुलीकरिष्ण
मकत्
बहुलीकृष्णवो
महत्तमास्तेष्वविदद्भवानगम्
महत्मस्तेष्व अविदत् भवान् अघम्. Twice born Daksha, a man like you can simply find fault in the qualities of others. Lord Shiva, however, not only finds no faults with others' qualities, but if someone has a little good quality, he magnifies it greatly. Unfortunately, you have found fault with such a great soul.
Hare Krishna. This is the shloka we are discussing. Last week I already went through Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary to the shloka. Last week we discussed how there are gradations of sadhu, gradations of asadhu. They were described by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Sadhu, sadhu tara, Sadhutama, and Ati Sadhutama. Then we also discussed Asadu, Asadutara, Asadutama, and Ati Asadutama. So 4 levels in Asadu and 4 levels in Sadhu. We discussed these examples last time. So Lord Shiva is a person who is Ati Sadhutama. Ati Sadhutama is what? Ati Sadhutama is that personality who see good qualities in other people where there are no good qualities. That is the nature of Ati Sadhutama. That is the exalted position of Lord Shiva. But Daksha Prajapati has found faults in such a person like Lord Shiva. Therefore, he is Ati Asadhutama. So, here Sati is saying Lord Shiva is the Ati Sadhutama and Daksha Prajapati is Ati Asadhutama. Asadu and then lower than the Asadu is Asadu Tara. Lower than the Asadu Tara is Asadu Tama. Lower than Asadu Tama is Ati Asadu Tama. Sadhu, higher than Sadhu is Sadhu Tara. Higher than Sadhu Tara is Sadhu Tama. Higher than Sadhu Tama is Ati Sadhu Tama. So here we can see the 2 extreme personalities, Ati Sadhutama and Ati Asadhutama. So Lord Shiva's exalted position is being described here. And because Daksha Prajapati found fault in Lord Shiva, he also found fault in Brahma. He also found fault in the other devotees of Lord Shiva. So how one fault leads to finding fault in others? Ramachandra Puri, he was finding fault with his guru, that is Madhavendra Puri. And later he started finding fault with Ramachandra Puri, he was finding fault with the Vaishnavas. And then he started finding fault with the guru. Then he started finding fault with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. How the fault-finding tendency, it actually leads to the it spreads from the Vaishnavas to the Guru and to the Supreme Lord himself. Similarly, here Daksha Prajapati found fault with the Shiva and then Brahma and the other devotees of Lord Shiva. This point is also pointed out by the Acharyas. So we see that Lord Shiva's exalted character which is being described, focusing not on the faults but focusing on the good qualities. And that is the nature of a bumblebee. Bumblebee, a devotee should be like a bumblebee which focuses on the nectar and the flower, although the flower may be surrounded by many garbage. And this quality of the bumblebee is exhibited to the highest degree by Lord Shiva. Once one devotee, when we were just coming to the temple, he was a medical college student. So he was offering Abhishek to the Radha Krishna deities. So his father actually commented, did I educate you to become a doctor? Did I educate you as a doctor for doing this Abhishek? Like that actually his father made a very critical remark. He didn't appreciate his own son performing Abhishek to Radha Krishna. Did I educate you for doing this Abhishek? So at that time, Radhanath Swami Maharaj told the devotee. So when your parent, the devotee told the remark made by his father to Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Radhanath Swami Maharaj said that when the parents speak like this, you should understand that the parents, they are only seeking your welfare. But they don't understand what is real welfare to you. It means like Maharaj was even seeing the positivity even in that critical remark. He said that your father is interested only in your welfare, but he does not understand what is the real welfare for you. Nate vidus swartha gatim hi Vishnu durashayaye bahirartha manina anda yatandai supagi amanas tepisha tantriya urudamni batta. Nate vidus swartha gatim hi Vishnu. One's real self-interest lies in serving Vishnu, serving Krishna. So Maharaj said that your father does not understand that your real benefit, your real self-interest lies in serving Krishna. So therefore, out of ignorance he is speaking, but you must appreciate his intention that he is interested in your welfare. So Maharaj saw the positivity even in that critical remark. Once one devotee was narrating to Srila Prabhupada how he fell from the standards expected of the behavior of a devotee, how he committed so many sinful activities. And he was describing all the details, all the incidents. And Prabhupada was hearing, and few other devotees were present. The other devotees, they got little embarrassed hearing that. And they started leaving that place. They felt that, oh, this person is really a gone case. But at the end, only Srila Prabhupada and Tejas Prabhu were there, and this particular devotee was there. Tejas Prabhu was there with Prabhupada. At the end, after this devotee completed narrating all the sins he committed, Prabhupada's comment was that to Tejas Prabhu, he said, see how this devotee is struggling for Krishna. So even in that, Srila Prabhupada saw so much of positivity. So this devotee is struggling for Krishna. These are the qualities of Ati Sadhutama. These are the qualities of Sadhutama, who focus on the good qualities and they magnify the good qualities. Even if they are very small, but they magnify the good qualities. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, last week we celebrated his 150th appearance day. Once there was an article which appeared in the newspaper with several critical remarks on the devotees. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, after seeing that article, he counted how many times the word Krishna was there. And there was another article which was glorifying the devotees. But he said that this article, which contains critical remarks, is better than the other article because in this article there are more names of Krishna are present. The Saraswati Thakur saw positivity even in that actually critical article. And this quality which Lord Shiva is exhibiting, the Vaishnava quality, because this is the quality of Krishna. When a person becomes a devotee of Krishna, the qualities of Krishna also come to the devotee. Krishna exhibited the same quality while killing Putana. Putana came to kill Krishna. Putana sucked the life hair of Krishna, sucked the life hair of Putana. But then after that, Krishna gave her the position of a nurse in the Vaikuntha. Therefore, Uddhava says that Aho Bakiyam Stanakala Kutam Jigam Shayapa Yedapyasadvi Lebe Gatim Dat Ruchitam Tatonyam Kamva Dayalum Sharanam Rajem. Uddhava said that can there be a Bhagavan, a master, who can be more merciful than Krishna? Because Krishna gave the position of a Datri, the nurse, to the Putana who came to kill him. So can there be anybody who is more merciful than Krishna? Krishna saw, although Putana dressed like a devotee and came with the intention to kill him, but still Krishna saw the positivity. Krishna removed all the sins of Putana by sucking the life here. And all the sins were removed. What was left was that one small desire to feed milk to him. And Krishna rewarded that by giving her the position of a nurse. In the Sri Sampradaya, Ramanujacharya, before he departed, he appointed Parashara Bhatta as the next successive Acharya. Parashara Bhatta is the son of Kuresh. And this Parashara Bhatta, Ramanuja told Parashara Bhatta to write a commentary on the Vishnu Sahasranama. So Parashara Bhatta was writing a commentary called as Bhagavat Guna Darpana. This is the name of the commentary on Vishnu Sahasranama. So whenever he would sit down to write a commentary, one person would come and blaspheme him. But then every day Parashara Bhatta would invite that person to his home for lunch prasadam. And devotees were surprised. And they asked Parashara Bhatta, why are you feeding this person who is blaspheming you? So Parashara Bhatta said that, my spiritual master gave me two instructions. Always glorify Krishna and find faults with yourself. So then he said, I am trying to follow the first instruction of glorifying Krishna by writing this commentary. But my whole day goes in following this first instruction, that I am not having the time to follow the second instruction of finding faults in me. And this person is helping me to fulfill the second instruction of my Guru. Because this person is coming voluntarily and he is finding faults in me. So I am grateful to this person because he is helping me to follow the second instruction of my Guru. So Parashara Bhatta, we can see the same quality of Sadhutama, Ati Sadhutama. Even in this person who was only finding faults in him, faults which are not present, even in this person, Parashara Bhatta was finding the good quality. So therefore, there is also a similar shloka in the Niti Shataka. The shloka says that Manasi vachasi kaye punya piyusha purna Tribhuvanam upakara shreni bihi prinayantah Paraguna paramanu parvati kritya nityam Nija hridi vikasanta santi santakyantah. Bhartrhari's Niti Shatakam, 76th shloka. He says that Manasi Vachasi Kayecha पुण्य पीयूष पूर्णाहा। मन, वचन और शरीर में सत्कर्म रूपी अमृत से भरे हुए, one's mind is only filled with doing satkara, upakara towards others. One's mind, words, and the action. In all three, a person only has punya karma. He thinks of performing punya karma, he speaks only about that, and his body is also engaged in that. Upakara shrenibihi त्रिभुवनम प्रीणयंतः। मन, वचन और शरीर में सत्कर्म रूपी अमृत से भरे हुए तीनों लोकों को अनेक उपकारों से संतुष्ट करने वाले तथा दूसरे के लेश मात्र गुण को नित्य ही पर्वताकार बनाकर अपने हृदय में प्रसन्न होने वाले सज्जन कुछ ही हैं इस संसार में। अथवा कितने लोग ऐसे कितने ऐसे सज्जन इस संसार में हैं। मतलब ऐसे सज्जनों को इस संसार में देखना बहुत ही दुर्लभ है। टू फाइंड अ पर्सन whose mind, body and words are only filled with performing upakara towards others, to the three worlds. To find a person who magnifies the smallest good quality like a big mountain, such a sajjan, such a great person, it is very rare to find in this world. So Niti Shatakam also describes similar such a personality. So we see like similarly this quality which we see is mentioned in the shloka about Lord Shiva. This quality is actually the quality of Srimati Radharani. Devi Krishnamayi Prokta Radhika Paradevata Sarva Lakshmi Mayi Sarva Kanti Sammohini Para. Srimati Radharani's quality is that Devi Krishnamayi. Her consciousness is filled with Krishna. And because of that, she sees Krishna in every situation. And she is the topmost example of Uttam Adhikari Bhakta. Sometimes people may wonder, where is Srimati Radharani mentioned in the Bhagavad? Actually, for a person who is only focused on technicality, he may say Srimati Radharani is not there in the Bhagavatam. But for a person who is a devotee of Srimati Radharani, he can see Srimati Radharani in every canto, every chapter of the Bhagavatam. So in this verse, we can see what is present is the Srimati Radharani's mood. Because only the person who is got the mercy of Srimati Radharani can have this quality, because the origin of this quality is Srimati Radharani. Like similar quality is exhibited by Parikshit Maharaj. Nanu dveshti kalim samrat saranga iva sarabuk kushalan yashu siddhyanti netarani kritaniyat. Parikshit Maharaj was a saranga iva sarabuk. He would only see the essence. Just like the bumblebee accepts the essence of a flower, Maharaj Parikshit was like that. Although Kali Yuga is filled with ocean of faults, but in that Kali Yuga, Parikshit Maharaj focused on the good quality. Sada focused on the good quality of Kali. So that is we can say therefore Parikshit Maharaj is such a Mahabhagavata. Once one devotee came to His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. So there was Bhagavat Sapta, which was being held in Prempuri Ashram near the Radha Gopinath temple. And a very nice exalted Vaishnava was giving, very exalted Vaishnava was giving the Bhagavat Sapta. But sometimes certain followers of the exalted Vaishnavas, they may be in their consciousness may not be advanced. So this follower, he came and told Maharaj, see, my Guru is speaking very high philosophy, very deep pastimes. You will not get to hear such things in ISKCON. Please come for this particular satsang, like that this devotee was saying. So the Radhanath Swami Maharaj mentioned, I am a very practical person. I see the extent of a person's advancement by how much he can see Krishna everywhere. That is how actually I judge the extent of a person's advancement. Like how much a person can see Krishna everywhere, basically the same quality of Lord Shiva. How much a person can focus on the good and not focus on the faults. Narada Muni exhibited the same quality. Narada Muni said, um, Narada Muni, the 7th canto of the Bhagavatam, Narada Muni told that the demons are better than me because I don't have such level of absorption like the demons. Therefore, I feel the demons are better than me. So he saw the positivity even in the demons, the quality of absorption. Although they are absorbed in an unfavorable attitude towards Krishna, but he appreciated their quality of absorption in Krishna. He said, I don't have that level of absorption. So even in that faults of the demons, he actually appreciated that faults. And there is another shloka in the Bhagavatam 11th canto. Kalim sabajayantyarya gunagya sarabhaginaha yatra sankirtanenaiva sarvaswarto vilabhyate. Gunagya sarabhaginaha. Those who are actually advanced in knowledge and who are able to appreciate the those who are actually advanced in knowledge, they are able to appreciate the essential value of the age of Kali. Such enlightened persons worship Kali Yuga. Although Kali Yuga is the lowest of the 4 yugas, but such enlightened persons worship Kali Yuga. Because in this fallen age of Kali, all the perfection, sarvaswartha, all the perfection can be easily achieved by the performance of Sankirtan. So those devotees who are Sarabhagina, who can see the essence, who focus on the essence, that quality is the quality of Lord Shiva. Such people, they glorify, they worship Kali Yuga. And what was the reason that Srila Prabhupada was successful in preaching in the Western world? It is because of this particular quality. That he actually focused on the spark of sincerity exhibited by the Westerners who are coming to him. And he focused on the spark of sincerity and he fanned that spark to locate that spark which is surrounded by a mountain of ash. It requires a very fine vision to locate that spark. And then after locating that spark, to fan that spark in such a way, and that spark becomes a blazing fire. That requires great patience, because when the spark is surrounded by the mountain of ash, when you start fanning that spark, the ash will start spreading everywhere, and it can even cover your vision. You may get affected. Your vision can get affected by that ash. But Prabhupada fanned that spark of sincerity without himself getting affected. So even Uddhava had the same quality. The third canto, Uddhava says that Manye Asuran Bhagavatam Stradishe. I consider the demons to be better than me, because the demons, they were able to see Krishna and they were more absorbed in Krishna than me. So in this way we see that there are so many examples of this actually. So I'll just go through some points in the purport.
Prabhuji, who said this? Demons are better than me. First was Narada, then who is the second one you said?
Uddhava.
Uddhava. Okay, yeah. Thank you.
So let us go through the Prabhupada's purport. So King Daksha is addressed here by his daughter as Dvija, twice born. The twice born means those who accepted a spiritual master and received a mantra from the Guru. So a Dvija is not an ordinary man, but one who has studied the Vedic literature from the spiritual master. Janmana Jayate Shudra Veda Patat Bhaved Dvijaha. By birth, everyone is a Shudra, and Janmana Jayate Shudra Samskarat Bhaved Dvijaha Veda Patat Bhaved Vipra Brahma Janati iti Brahmana. By birth, everybody is a Shudra, and by undergoing the samskara, a person becomes a Dvija. And when a person studies the Vedas, one becomes a Vipra. And when a person understands, realizes the Supreme Brahman, he becomes a Brahman. So Dvija is a person who has studied the Vedic literature and can discriminate between good and bad. Therefore, it is supposed that he understands logic and philosophy. So Sati is putting forward sound arguments. So there are some highly qualified persons who accept only the good qualities of others. Just as bee is always interested in the honey in the flower and does not consider the thorns and colors. So highly qualified persons who are uncommon accept only the good qualities of others, not considering their bad qualities. Whereas a common man can judge what are good qualities and what are bad qualities. Among the uncommonly good souls, there are still gradations. The Prabhupada is not mentioning the details of the gradation, but we saw the gradations in the last class. Sadhu, Sadhutara, Sadhutama, Ati Sadhutama. Among the uncommonly great souls, the best good soul is one who accepts an insignificant asset of a person and magnifies that good quality. Lord Shiva is called Ashutosh, means one who is satisfied very easily and who offers to any person the highest level of benediction. For example, once a devotee of Lord Shiva wanted a benediction, he wanted a touchstone as a benediction, because he wanted to get a lot of wealth to the touchstone. Lord Shiva agreed. No, the example given is Vrikasur's example. Once a devotee of Lord Shiva wanted that whomever actually, if I touch my hand on somebody's head, that person should die. Such a very strange benediction. But Lord Shiva agreed, because that Vrikasur performed so much of austerities Even cutting his own flesh, by cutting his own flesh, he offered to Lord Shiva in the yajna. So, although the benediction was not very commendable, because the devotee wanted to kill his enemy, Lord Shiva considered the devotee's good quality in worshipping and satisfying him and granted the benediction. So that means Lord Shiva is an example of how Lord Shiva, even the demon, although he had a bad intention, even in that, in him he saw some good quality and then granted the benediction. Lord Shiva accepted that person's bad qualities as magnificently good qualities. That is the level of Lord Shiva, the character of Lord Shiva. But Sati is telling to Daksha, you are completely the opposite of Shiva. Although Shiva has so many good qualities and no bad qualities at all, you have accepted him as bad and found fault with him. Because of your accepting his good qualities to be bad, instead of your becoming the most exalted soul, you have become the most fallen. You are the Ati Asadu Tama. So a man becomes the greatest soul by accepting the goodness of others' qualities. But by unnecessarily considering others' good qualities to be bad, you have become the lowest of the fallen souls. So like that, Sati is actually criticizing Daksha. So there are many examples of Srila Prabhupada also exhibiting this quality. So Prabhupada once, like, there was this famous movie of Devananda. In that there was a song, Dammaru Dam movie, that the devotees were shown as smoking ganja, intoxication. So Prabhupada told that, see, in the course of time, people will forget the devotees commit, people will forget that scene. Dhammaro Dham people will forget, and in the course of time, what they will remember is only Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada focused on the positivity even in that midst of that bad publicity, actually. So, like that. So I will also discuss briefly something about Lord Shiva from the Lagu Bhagavatamrita. Because the day after tomorrow is a Shivaratri also. Let me share the screen. Few shlokas about from the Lagu Bhagavatamrita. So, Rudra Ekadasha Vyuhas. Rudra Ekadasha Vyuhas. Rudra Ekadasha Vyuhas Tatashtattanurapyasau Praya Panchananastraksho Dashabahurudiryate. So there are 11 forms of, there are 11 expansions of Rudra within the material world. Ekadasha Vyuha. Tata Ashtatanurapyasau. And Rudra has 8 types of forms. 11 expansions and 8 types of forms of Rudra. Prayaha Panchanana. Generally, Rudra has 5 heads. Generally, that means Prayaha word is used. That means sometimes Shiva has only 1 head. Generally, he has 5 heads. And Trayaksho, he has 3 eyes. Dashabahur, he has 10 hands. 10 hands. So what are the 11 expansions of Rudra? So there is a verse in the Mahabharata which gives the names of these 11 forms. So I'll quote that verse. You see the shloka. Ajaikapad Ahirbudnyo Virupakshota Raivatah Harascha Bahurupascha Trayambakascha Sureshwaraha Savitrascha Jayantascha Pinaki Chaparajitaha. So what are the 11 forms? 11 expansions of Rudra. Aja, Ahirbudnya, Virupaksha, Raivata, Hara, Bahurupa, Trayambaka, Savitra, Jayanta, Pinaki, and Aparajita. These are the 11 expansions of 11 forms of Rudra. And then I mentioned there are 8 types of forms of Rudra. This is also mentioned. Baldev Vidyabhushan quotes this shloka. Prithvi Salilam Tejo Vayurakasham Evacha Surya Chandramasau Soma Yaji Chet Ashtamurtayah. That means some form of Rudra is made of Prithvi, some is made of water, some form is made of fire, some form of Rudra is made of air, ether, the sun, moon, and the performer of sacrifice. The 8 forms of Shiva, the 8 forms of Shiva are present in earth, water, fire, air, ether, the sun, the moon, and the performer of sacrifice. These are 8 forms. And then there are 3 eyes. 3 eyes we know. Then Panchanana, 5 heads, and 10 arms. So these are the, this verse speaks about the forms of Rudra within the material world. The material world, there are 11 expansions of Rudra, and there are 8 types of forms made of earth, water, etc. And then further he says, Tvachit Jiva Visheshatvam Harasyuktam Videriva Tattu Sheshava Devastam Tad Amshatvena Kirtanat. Sometimes a living entity can become the Shiva. Sometimes a special Jiva takes the role of a Shiva, just in a matter similar to Brahma. So normally, in the case of Brahma, usually a living entity becomes Brahma. Sometimes when a living entity is unqualified, when no living entity is qualified to become Brahma, at that time Vishnu himself becomes Brahma. But usually a Jivatma is the Brahma. And in the case of the Shiva Tattva is in between the Jiva Tattva and the Vishnu Tattva. That is the usual category of Shiva Tattva. But sometimes a special Jivatma takes the role of Shiva, just in a manner similar to Brahma. Tattu Sheshava Devastam Tad Amshatvena Kirtana. So Shiva would be considered like Shesha with 2 forms. Since Shiva is also glorified as an Amsha of Vishnu. So when the living entity takes the role of a Shiva, Shiva would be considered like Shesha. So Shesha, you see, Shesha serves the Lord in 2 ways. When the Shesha takes the role of being the bed of Vishnu, and that bed of Vishnu is directly the Swamsha expansion of Vishnu. Directly the Vishnu actually. Yeah. Why suddenly sound keeps coming actually? See, in the purport it is mentioned. Shiva is like Shesha who has 2 forms. Shesha who acts as the bed of Vishnu is the Supreme Lord. But the form of Shesha, who holds up the universe on his foot, is the Jiva. The Shesha who acts as the bed of Vishnu is Vishnu Tattva. But the Shesha who holds up the universe is the Jivatma. So similarly, sometimes a living entity becomes the Shiva, and there is another Shiva who is not a living entity, who is in between the Jivatma and the Vishnu Tattva. Just like the Shesha has two forms, one as the Vishnu Tattva, another as the Jivatma. Sometimes Shiva has two forms, one as the Jivatma, another as the Shiva Tattva, who is in between Jivatma and the Vishnu Tattva, as explained here. And there are quotations given how sometimes living entity becomes the Shiva. For that, some quotations are given from the Rig Veda. Quotations are given from the Rig Veda or other places. See, this verse describes a Jiva taking the role of Shiva. The Vedas say, Yam kamaye tam ugram krinomi tam brahmana tam rishim tam sumedam. I make whomever I desire into Shiva. I make whomever I desire into Brahma or a sage. This is the Rig Veda. Narayana Upanishad. Narayana desired to create progeny. From Narayana Brahma was born. From Narayana Rudra was born. From Narayana Prajapati was born. From Narayana Indra was born. From Narayana the 8 Vasus were born. From Narayana the 11 Rudras were born. From Narayana the 12 Adityas were born. In the beginning, only Narayana existed and not Brahma or Shiva. These verses are quoted further. Hara Purusha Damatvan Nirguna Praya Evasaha Vikaravan Iha Tamo Yogat Sarvai Pratiyate. So Shiva is Nirguna. Prayaha Nirgunaha. Generally, he is actually Nirguna. Generally, he is in a transcendental state. He is without the touch of the three gunas. Shiva is generally, Prayaha word should be actually, it's not included in the translation. Generally, Shiva is without the touch of the material gunas, since he is the Lord. But however, the ignorant perceive him to be contaminated by tamoguna. Vikaravan iha tamo yagat sarvai pratiyate. Ignorant people consider that he is contaminated with tamoguna. So generally Shiva is not beyond the three gunas. That means like sometimes he gets influenced by tamoguna, but within a short time he comes out of that influence. Sometimes Brahma gets influenced by rajoguna, but he comes out of it. So similarly, sometimes Shiva gets influenced by tamoguna, but he comes out of it. As described in the Bhagavatam, Shiva Shakti Yuta Shashvat Trilingo Guna Samvrataha. So Shiva is always united with his personal energy, the material nature, manifesting himself in three features. In response to the nature's three modes, he thus embodies the threefold principle of the material ego in goodness, passion, and ignorance. So sometimes Lord Shiva, by his own will, he gets covered by tamoguna and he appears to be contaminated. So, and then the Brahma Samhita verse is quoted. And then, so Vidir Lalatat Janmasya Kadachit Kamalapatehe Kalagni Rudra Kalpante Bhavet Sankarshanatapi. Sometimes Rudra appears from the forehead of Brahma. Sometimes he is born from the forehead of Vishnu. And the Kalagni Rudra appears from the Sankarshana at the end of the Kalpa. It's about the appearance of Rudra. And then the 31st shloka talks about the another Shiva who is in the spiritual realm. So we talked about the 11 forms of Rudra. These 11 forms of Rudra are within the material world. But in the spiritual realm, there is another Shiva. That Shiva is called as Sadashiva. Sadashivakya Tanmurtis Tamo Gandha Vivarjita Sarva Karana Bhuta Sa Anga Bhuta Swayam Prabho Vayavyadishu Saiveyam Shivaloke Pradarshita. The form called Sadashiva is devoid of Tamo Gandha Vivarjita, devoid of any trace of Tamoguna. And Sarva Karana Bhutasa, he is directly Narayana, the Vilasa or the Swamsha of Swayamrupa Krishna, and is the cause of all causes, Sarva Karana. And that form is described as dwelling on Shivaloka, that is Vaikunta, in the Vayu Purana and other scriptures. Vayavyadishu Saiveyam Shivaloke Pradarshita. So this Sadashiva is present in the Mahesh Dham. This Mahesh Dham is basically one of the Vaikunta. One who goes to this Mahesh Dham, where the Sadashiva resides, he will not return to the material world. He will not return to the material world because it is part of the Vaikunta. And there are references quoted for this. So in this way, we see that something about Lord Shiva. Just a few more things and then I'll end. And also in the Hari Bhakti Vilasa, Sanatana Goswami describes about observing the Shivaratri Vrata. So you see Shivaratri Vratam, what he says. Shivaratri Vratam idam yadyapi avashyakam nahi Vaishnavanam tatapyatra Sadacharad Vilikyate. Shivaratri Vratam Krishna Chatur Drishyantu Falgune Vaishnaveirapi Tatkaryam Shri Krishna Pritaye Sada. So every month, the 14th day is a Shivaratri, every month. And in the Falgun month, that 14th day is called as a Mahashivaratri. That Mahashivaratri is on Friday, actually. See here what Sanatan Goswami says. यद्यपि वैष्णवों के संबंध में शिवरात्रि व्रत अनुष्ठान का कोई प्रयोजन नहीं है, तथापि सदाचार निबंधन यहाँ उसका वर्णन किया जाता है. Although it's not that Vaishnavas have to observe, there is no injunction that the Vaishnavas have to observe Shivaratri, but still sometimes a Vaishnava comes in the family lineage of the Shiva Bhaktas, Shaivaites, and there may be a traditional family practice to observe the Shivaratri. A devotee can observe the Shivaratri Vrata, but with what intention? With a desire to please Krishna, with a desire to attain the love of Krishna. तथापि सदाचार निबंधन यहाँ उसका वर्णन किया जाता है. फाल्गुन मास की कृष्ण चतुर्दशी तिथि में इस व्रत का अनुष्ठान करना चाहिए. श्री कृष्ण प्रीति के निमित्त सर्वदा इस व्रत का अनुष्ठान वैष्णवों को करना चाहिए. When the Vaishnavas observe the Shivaratri Vrata, they should observe the Shivaratri Vrata with a desire to please Krishna. That should be the mood. That's what Sanatana Goswami says. So, if you see, So some Vaishnavas may observe Shivaratri, some Vaishnavas may not observe Shivaratri Vrata, but nevertheless they should not be criticized. So one reason Jiva Goswami says that why some Vaishnavas don't observe Shivaratri Vrata, for that he quotes the verse from the 4th canto, 2nd chapter. The 4th canto, 2nd chapter, we saw the curse pronounced by Bhrigumuni on the followers of Lord Shiva. 4.2.28. Bhava vrata dara yecha tan samanu vrataha paschandinaste bhavantu satyastra paripantinaha. One who takes a vow to satisfy Lord Shiva or who follows such principles will certainly become an atheist and be diverted from transcendental scriptural injunction. So out of fear of this curse by Bhrigumuni, some Vaishnavas, they don't observe Shivaratri. Like that, Jiva Goswami says. But anyway, the main point is Sanatana Goswami says that Shivaratri is not, it's not that one has to observe Shivaratri, but a Vaishnava can observe Shivaratri Vrata, but with the desire to please Krishna, the desire to attain love for Krishna. With that intention, one can observe the Shivaratri Vrata. This is mentioned in Hari Bhakti Vilasa. So today we just covered only one shloka. We'll continue from the next shloka next week. Hare Krishna. Anybody has any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So, Lord Shiva is saying that good quality of the worship, the puja which he's doing, right? You also mentioned like that. Is that what the demon who asked for a boon? Yeah. So, but what about the intention? Like,
yeah, this intention was definitely wrong, but Lord Shiva, he just, like, although he had a intention to harm others, but still Lord Shiva saw the good quality and gave the benediction. Yeah, it cannot be imitated because the material world many times when we are dealing with the people, we have to do critical analysis. There are times where we have to do critical analysis. There are some times where we have to just focus on this good quality and focus on the positivity. Because sometimes when we are supposed to do critical analysis, and when we don't do critical analysis, then we can be exploited by others. Suppose while giving shelter, say for example, there are countries who give shelter to. There are many Muslim immigrants. They may give shelter out of magnanimity. But when they don't do critical analysis, how so many countries who gave shelter to this particular community, how later the whole country became transformed into Islamic country. When they don't do critical analysis by seeing what happened in the other parts of the world, and they simply try to do, or we just be magnanimous and give shelter to whoever asks for shelter without seeing the nature of the person, then our compassion will be exploited by them. So therefore, we will have to do critical analysis. But again, this particular episode demonstrates Lord Shiva's exalted position. That's why sometimes Vishnu also warned Brahma and Shiva, hereafter don't give such benedictions to these demons. Otherwise, I have to come and kill these demons. Hare Krishna.
thank you, Prabhuji.
Nitya Krishna Das.
हाँ दंडवत. You have something to share, Nitya Krishna Prabhu? Amrita Dev Mataji. Can you please share what happened to Ramachandra Puri as a result of criticizing everyone? So it is out of our text today. What happened to Ramachandra Puri? I'm not remembering what is described in the Chaitanya Bhagavat about what he got actually. Chandrapuri. I don't remember hearing or reading about like there are mentioned about Gopal Chakravarti, Gopal Chapel, they got leprosy because of criticizing Srivas Thakur. Ramachandra Puri, what happened to him? I don't distinctly remember what happened. Okay. Any other question? Sound came and went. Okay, if there are no more questions, then we'll end.
Prabhuji, next time from verse number 14 we have to continue?
From 13.
13. Okay. Hari Bol, Hari Bol.